that's a great win for IU in that last bout. Great showing by Weaver, and we'll see what we get in this 149-pound matchup. But IU looking to build some momentum here after a couple of wins, and we'll see if Maryland can respond and keep themselves in this match.
Every Hoosier on the upcoming roster, all kinds of excited with that win for Weaver. A good performance from him. But now up is Luke Blanton, the redshirt sophomore from Alexandria, Indiana, and Wade Hodges, the freshman from Wauseon, Ohio. Going to be another good match. Blanton coming in 14-7, Hodges coming in 4-5. Hodges hasn't seen as much action as he would have liked in his freshman campaign so far. Only 9 matches so far, but he is working his way into the rotation, becoming a little bit more of a common starter for Maryland. So working his way towards becoming a better wrestler, and that's really what it's all about. Definitely, and if you look at the stats, just right off the bat, the 14-7 record shows for Blanton. You've got to think he's a favorite in this against the younger guy in Hodges. But we'll see what Hodges can bring after getting a little time here, and see what he can do out there on the mat. Maybe bring in a little bit of an upset here for Maryland, get him back on the board. So a minute in, still no scoring. Just to recap, Indiana leading 15-4. So Blanton, as you said, I think the favorite of this matchup, coming off a loss to Zane Rutherford of Penn State by pin in 2:43. So a first period pin set Blanton back just a little bit, so he's going to try and recover. A lot of the wrestlers we've mentioned so far in this broadcast did fall to Penn State for Indiana's roster, but when you're going up against a program like Penn State, you kind of have to struggle against such talented wrestlers. Definitely, and it's a little bit of like the David and Goliath story. I mean, Penn State historically a great program, and for IU, it's like we've said, it's a program on the rise who seems to be going in the right direction. And it's always a good experience to get up against guys like Penn State and the Iowas of the Big Ten. You'll see, so it's always good to get that experience and fight against some of those guys who are the perennial champions in college wrestling, and we'll see what that sort of experience brings for Hoosiers and Maryland too as they go along in their first couple seasons in the Big Ten. So Hodges had the single leg, looking for the trip. Tried to get him down, couldn't quite do it. Blanton trying to hold on, keep some space going. He'll go for the dump. Hodges still working, trying to make any kind of move, going for trips and for dumps. It looks like he kicked in the face on his way down, Hodges, but he will be awarded the takedown. So a 2-0 lead for Hodges here as we come to the last 15 seconds of the first period. And Hodges is looking strong here, fighting hard and getting those 2 points right there. We'll see what he holds on to for the end of the first period. Although there is a lot of wrestling left to be had here in this match. So Blanton, as we mentioned, a little bit more experienced wrestler here at the collegiate level. Did go 16-16 in the previous season, but I don't think that means that he has an advantage because of his experience. I think he has an advantage just because of who he is as a wrestler. Hodges is in the lead right now, of course, 2-0, but I think Blanton will make some kind of a move here in the second or third periods. And this is going to be a good one regardless. Definitely, and if it's anything like the other matches we've had so far, especially off the bat at the start of this dual meet, it should be a close one and maybe come down to the wire again. We'll see what we get the rest of the way. And Hodges, a state placer in Ohio all 4 years of high school, a very strong Ohio state in terms of high school wrestling. But all kinds of good experiences from him there as he finished 3rd, 4th, 4th, and 7th in his 4 years in high school. A very a good prodigy heading into Maryland's program now. He's definitely one that they're going to look for down the road heading into the rest of their Big Ten years.
Definitely, and it's getting guys like Hodges experience in matches like this. Obviously, like we've said before, IU's is sort of on the upswing. Maryland's trying to figure out where they stand in the Big Ten, and for guys like Hodges, young guys like Hodges, it's good for them to get in and get these experiences against sometimes more experienced teams, and it's good for them going forward, building the culture around the Maryland program, going into Big Ten play.
So Hodges awarded the 2-point takedown, now leading 4-0. And the riding time is in his favor, counting its way up from about 40 seconds. And just about a reversal for Blanton, but couldn't quite get it. But he is awarded the escape. So a 4-1 lead for Hodges. And Blanton will look to cut into that lead a little bit more here in the final 30 seconds of the second period. And a shot from Blanton looked a little bit off the mark. He has the leg real close, working his way. As long as he gets that head out, he will be awarded the takedown. Still no points awarded. The head is still not up where it needs to be awarded the takedown. Still no points. Everyone's cheering for the points, but there are no points awarded yet. And no points awarded at all. Indiana fans very frustrated with the call on that one. As you can see on your screen, absolutely flabbergasted. I am as well. It was a very close to getting the points. However, Hodges did have his hands locked, so it was the correct call. Goldman, as you can see on your screen, frustrated as well. Yelling, points, it's a takedown, 2 points. I need those 2 points. But I think a good call on the part of the referee.
And it looks like we're going to get an official review here, Aaron, from the refs, and they're going to check out and see what they've got in those last couple seconds of the second period.
So the officials will go over to the side of the scorers table and take a look, but we will be back underway with the action here in a moment. Third period underway. So heading into this third period, Hodges leading 4-1, as you see on the screen. Indiana leading 15-4. So definitely a competition for the evening for sure. So Blanton coming in with all kinds of experiences, as we mentioned. He did place third at the MSU Open earlier this year and placed third at the Lock Haven Invitational as well.
And that's not to mention that he's also an academic All-Big Ten last year, so it's getting it done both on the mat and in the classroom. It's something we like to see from these student athletes.
And I think that's something we've seen from Indiana as a whole over the course of the last few years. They have done very well academically. As a university, they have a 4.0 APR, which is always a good sign. As you see on your replay screen there, just barely had his hands locked on that one. I think right there might be where they get awarded the takedown if it is awarded, but a very good series of events for Hodges.
Well, and the refs are still over there at the scorers table doing their due diligence, so we'll see what they get out of it and what kind of score we're looking at going here into the third.
Of course, the time over at the scorers table is good for the wrestlers, getting a little bit of a break heading into the third period, because wrestling for 7 minutes straight is a very taxing sport. You never really realize it until you wrestle, and that's something I can attest to. It's something that every wrestler in the country can attest to. It is very draining. It's just about as difficult, if not more difficult, than football or soccer or any other kind of sport that causes such a drain on the body.
Definitely, you don't have the same sort of stop and start that you get in a lot of other sports, and it's definitely a physically draining task, and it's really a testament to these guys who are really just unbelievable athletes.
So no points awarded after that dispute. So Blanton will start on bottom here in the third period. A quick get up there to start off, but a caution is awarded. He made a move a little bit too quick. Another good attempt there, trying to break free, pushing. No points awarded still. But there is a stalling ball on Hodges, so it will be 4-2. Blanton working his way into that lead, cutting the points down.
And there we go. Like you said, Blanton cutting into that lead early on. See if he can maybe get an escape here, get another point on the board, and cut into that lead again. Before looks like this one might come down to the wire again, like a lot of these matches so far.
Blanton did actually defeat 2 ranked wrestlers this season. Number 10, Jake Short at the time for Minnesota, and number 17, Nicholas Barber of Eastern Michigan. So he does have some high-quality wins on his resume.
And in addition to that, he was named the Big Ten Wrestler of the Week in December. So he's definitely having himself a year, and he even got himself up to number 20 in the national rankings after finishing third at the Lock Haven University Classic. So Blanton's had himself a year and is looking to build on that and see if he can climb back into this match in the third period.
So another caution for Blanton. And the point score is still at 4-2. And Hodges is still in the lead for riding time, sitting at about 1 minute and 10 seconds. Still working its way up, obviously, as he is on top. Blanton working around, grabbing the leg, pushing his way, trying to find that reversal that he's looking for. Still no points awarded from the official.
The IU coaching staff is up and at him out on the mat, yelling, trying to get that reversal. We'll see what he can get.
He's working his way, trying to get his hips over. Still working. 1 minute to go here in the third period.
And here come those fans out of their seats. We'll see what he can get if Blanton can dig it out here.
The reversal is awarded. Blanton ties it up. So a 4-4 match here with just under 1 minute to go. This is a good one to watch. Blanton works his way back up on top, finding his way after the reversal. And they'll be out of bounds, so they'll move back into the center. Blanton and Indiana excited, wanting to close out this victory. Can't quite count out Hodges, though. It's still a tie match, so it's going to be a good one.
And Hodges will have the advantage in the riding time, so that's another thing to look at with only 39 seconds left here in the third period.
So he will for certain have the riding time advantage, as you mentioned. Blanton will need to try for some near fall points.
30 seconds remaining.
30 seconds to go here in the final period. Blanton holding on, tight waist, brings him back down. Still nothing. Brings him back down once again. Hodges doing everything he can to get that escape. He wants it, but they will be out of bounds, so they'll move back to the center.
And Hodges holding on here with just 16 seconds left. We'll see whether he can pull it out here. Like we said, like those earlier matches, it's been a tight one and a fun one to watch here, Aaron.
This is definitely, I think, one of the most exciting matches of the evening. I think the closeness and the excitement of the Indiana crowd has really come through. Maryland's bench looking for another caution call. Nothing awarded. But Blanton looking for the breakdown.
And only 6 seconds left. It looks like Blanton's going to hold on.
So nothing awarded. So we're waiting on a decision from the officials. Looks like they're going to come over and review something else. I think they're looking at the call at the very beginning of that first succession. Blanton looked like he went for the ankle pick just a little bit too early, so I think that's what they're looking at. If that is the case, that might change the outcome of this match.
Coach Goldman from IU doesn't look too pleased that they're looking at this now as opposed to earlier, he seemed to think they should have.
It's definitely going to be a big deciding factor here. Momentum is working its way. Blanton did have that little bit of a comeback heading into the end of this match, so this could make a swing that Blanton doesn't really want. So looking at the replay there, the ankle pick might have gone just a little bit early. Can't quite tell on the replay, not the best angle available out there, but that will be what they're looking at, I'm sure.
There we see Dawson Packover on the sideline, who is not wrestling tonight, but has been a loud supporter all night for the Maryland Terrapins over there. One of their heavyweights who's been cheering on his teammates all night long.
So it will be a neutral decision for the officials, so we will head into overtime. Blanton looking to finish off his comeback. A 4-4 tie heading into overtime. Indiana looking to extend their 15-4 lead. Maryland looking to cut into Indiana's lead.
And you've got to think, for if you're Hodges, you really got to have this one. Build a little momentum going into your next wrestler with Mascola, the number 19 rated wrestler in his weight class. See if you can get a little momentum going for the Terrapins here. Get a couple matches in a row, maybe.
And Indiana's looking to also keep the momentum they have going. Obviously, the pin from Oliver earlier on in the evening was a very big momentum shift for Indiana, looking to get all kinds of excitement from the Indiana bench and for those wrestlers to come. So through the first overtime period, looks like we will not have any scoring happen, so we will move into another overtime period.
And there you see both coaching staff is coming out and talking to their guys, cheering them on, trying to get their heads straight going into this next overtime period.
So Hodges will choose down to start off the second overtime period. And just a reminder, anyone who scores in these overtime periods will be declared the winner. So a very important moment for both Hodges and Blanton. Blanton working, trying to get a leg in, and it looks like no points just yet. Very close to a reversal, but Blanton now back on top.
2-point near fall.
2-point near fall is awarded to Luke Blanton. So closing out the second overtime period, Luke Blanton will be ahead 6-4. So we will head into the next section of the overtime period, which will give Hodges a chance to bring back the points for him. And if he is still behind after this overtime period, it will be declared a victory for Blanton. So another point for Blanton on a stalling call on Hodges. Looks a little dissatisfied with that call.
And Blanton, the veteran, looks to be fighting it out here, and looks like he might hold on here if he can hold off Hodges just for a little longer.
So Hodges, a career high school record of 177-19, trying to show his quality here against the, as you mentioned, veteran redshirt sophomore Luke Blanton. A reversal will be awarded to Luke Blanton, so a 9-4 lead for Blanton, and it will give him the win. A big win for Indiana. So 3 more points for Indiana, count it, 18-4, Indiana leads.
And that's a big win there, Aaron. You got to think that could be a momentum swinger towards the Hoosiers one way or the other. Maryland was really hoping to get that one, maybe cut into this lead a little more, but big win for IU there.